So before we get into our top 10, like we got ton of uh what we call them before we do our top 10 honorable mentions.
Oh, honorable mentions. Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
few. Let me look at my list. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. So I'm gonna have 3 honorable mentions, and I got a top 5, and I haven't even put the 5 in the order yet. But I kind of do that as we go. So I got
Yeah.
3 honorable mentions I want to mention, and then I got 2 diss tracks that I think are garbage.
Yeah.
And I listened to them again today, and I remember listening to them. I guess it's been 20, 25 years on some of these, and I was like, oh yeah, that's trash. So I got 2 diss tracks I think I need to put in there. I think are just hot trash. So I got those as well.
Gotcha. What I notice, and it's not even that obvious. It's pretty obvious. I just didn't. Well, you're sitting there after a while. You start listening to songs you haven't listened to in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of brings out just most of these are men going after other men,
Yeah.
but the way hip hop tracks are just dwelled in, you're weak, you're feminine,
Mm-hmm.
basically you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to F you like a woman. I'm going to
Yep.
I'm
A
saying like,
lot of a lot of like you're gay or like
yes.
very homophobic stuff that would not fly in 2023 or even in
Not on the internet.
2022. Or
It happens on the
it would
street, but it's not
you're not on it
not
would
on
not
wax.
fly in a song or on wax, right? A lot of that though. And even one of the songs that I got in my top 5 or maybe even one has some of that, right? Like
Yeah.
so and it's very, it is what it is. Sign of the times, I guess it's fine. But like, yeah, you would attack in hip hop, what we love to do is very braggadocious. So you attack a man's manhood, and that's
Yes.
how you kind of get to him. That's most of these diss tracks. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I'm wondering if that's the reason why I don't have any recent diss tracks on mine.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I not nah. Eh. I
I
mean,
got
we'll
one
go.
that's kind of recent. I got one that's pretty recent, I guess,
I
but
guess I don't
everything
know
else is
what.
older.
Yeah, everything else is back in the '90s, some '80s and
Yeah.
'90s. I'm trying to look at right here, but yeah, it's just a little bit of that. Again, would you call it misogyny? I'm sure nowadays you probably would. But it was such a aggressive, competitive, and
Hmm.
a lot of these people are coming from the hood, so of course they're going to. That's what you do. This it
Hmm.
happens. It happens right now in the neighborhoods. They're gonna go after your manhood, and you gotta, and that's why I don't give any respect to Jack Harlow for not responding.
Poor
I'm
Jack
sorry.
Harlow. We beat him and Drake up a lot, and you know what? It's because they're the same dude.
But at least with Drake, we'll go with a little honorable mention. I appreciated back to back
Did you?
from
Okay.
him
A lot of people
because
have that like in the top 10 and top 5. Yeah. From what I've seen.
I mean, I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go. I mean, it wouldn't be my top 10, but I appreciate a man, a rapper that you would not expect him to do anything. Got Meek Mill.
Yeah.
He's the gangster rapper. He's actually been in the street. He's
Yeah.
throwing shots at Drake, and the fact that Drake beat him with back to back, because I
He
haven't
did.
heard anything. You know, I think they made up or whatever, but the fact that he was able to one up Meek Mill, that probably did not help Meek Mill's career,
Yeah.
and it showed me at least Drake understands hip hop and the aggressive nature of it. Like he understands that. That's why, like for Jack Harlow to be basically following Drake's style, well, Drake would have responded because he has. He could have said, "I'm above Meek Mill. I make more money than Meek Mill. I've sold more records." He went. He still had to do
Hmm.
something. So I
Hmm.
think at least I give Drake that respect. And also another song, Garden State put it, threw some shots at Common on Stay Scheming. Common, and we'll talk about this as well. I guess another honorable mention. I want to jump right in before you say one of yours.
Hmm.
Common going after Ice Cube, the
Yeah.
bitch in you,
Yeah. That's
dude.
that's my Chi Town boy. Common is, you
Don't
know,
mess with Common just because
no.
he seems nice and he's doing some acting. And he seems like a more chill dude now.
No, he's from the
He
streets
will
back in the day. Yeah.
he
Don't get it
he will
twisted. Yeah.
destroy you. And Ice Cube is not I mean, I got Ice Cube in my stuff.
Oh yeah.
Ice Cube is one of the greatest rappers, writers ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Common beat him. And the bitch,
Yeah.
I was listening to that earlier today. Check that out, guys. I mean,
It's a
some people
good one.
in the comments, someone said that made Ice Cube go back into acting.
And then Common went to acting, so it's kind of funny how
This
that
ain't
worked.
funny,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
"Bitching You," damn good song,
Yeah.
damn good diss track. He went after Ice Cube. You think he wouldn't able to do that? But yeah, Common he go through a lot of this. So
So
but yeah,
that's one of your honorable mentions as well.
yeah.
Okay. A couple I got. And there's so many. It's hard. I got Royce to 5'9". I said
Oh,
Royce to
big
5'9".
fan. Yeah,
Malcolm X, right? So he went. Him and Eminem were boys, whatever. He went on a diss track, dissing D12, which was Eminem's like group, right?
yeah.
And Royce to
I
5'9".
like them. I like them.
I, I
They were a
didn't. I
little
didn't.
gross,
I
but
didn't mind them, but
yeah,
not my flavor all the time. But like Royce da 5'9" is extremely underrated, right?
yes,
Like
definitely.
lyrically, and he's also like he's about that life, and he went at him, and I forgot how good that was, and how the production value of it, and he's got uses Eminem's voice and some of it. Like it's good.
Yeah,
So I had to put that in there. Lauryn Hill. I forgot about that. She had some beef with Wyclef, and the reason the Fugees kind of broke up was because she did not align with Wyclef's kind of his morals in some ways, right? Wyclef just wanted the fame, the radio, and Lauren's like, I want to stay grounded and kind of like do my thing, right?
yeah.
And Lost Ones, man, a good listen. She dropped some lines in there, and she's targeting Wyclef Jean. And I forget. We've talked about Lauryn Hill on this channel before, right? Like, I think a lot of us think she's probably the GOAT MC of women, at least in the top. I mean, she's definitely in the top
Yeah,
three,
she's
right?
one of the greatest
She's one of the
men or
greatest.
women. It don't matter. Yeah,
Yeah, she's. I mean, just unbelievable. She always, left us wanting more. Clearly, right? And the
yeah.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, one of the best albums of any
You
music
can,
genre.
yeah, you could. Yeah,
Okay,
it's amazing.
you could play that now; it still resonates, still relevant. So I thought that's an interesting track. One, two, one, two. Okay.
Wyclef was a piece of crap. I mean, he did have a
Talented, but yeah, kind of a
talented
piece of
dude,
piece of
but he had a fundraiser, some kind of organization for the hurricane in Haiti, and he's been accused of stealing
I
that
remember
money.
that. That's crazy.
So it kind of
That's
shows that Lauryn Hill was
she was right.
correct.
She was right,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's why I have that in here as well. But the other one I have is Story of Adidon. Anyway,
Yeah.
Pusha T versus Drake. We
Drake
got
lost that
Drake
one.
into Degrassi with the Drake lost that.
Yeah, he
Okay,
lost that
Pusha
one.
T came at him. That's
Yeah.
the one that I have that's recent. I feel like I wanted to represent at least the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And Pusha T, he did the damn thing on that one. So those are my
I
three
mean,
kind of honorable mentions there.
he basically told everyone he had a kid. No one
Yeah.
knew Drake had a kid. He
Yes.
tried
He
to hide it.
still, yes.
And
Yes.
then you know why Drake said he didn't respond? Because his mentor, what's the dude? He's like he's like a hip hop mafia dude. Shoot, I can't believe I've forgot his damn name. But he told him not to, so he did. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, man.
Yeah.
Jay Prince. Apparently, Jay Prince told him not to respond to.
Told Drake not to respond?
Yeah, and
Oh.
Drake said, yeah, because apparently Jay Prince is one of his, like, I guess before Drake got on.
Jay Prince
Jay
has been around for like ever, like
Yeah.
30 something. Like
Yeah, he's like a mafia dude.
Yeah.
So he has some major pull with Drake. I think Drake still fucks with him, and obviously, but the fact that's the running story. No, I think what are you gonna say? And also, it showed that how Pusha T knew that you got your own people telling your business. So
Well,
a little bit of that too.
and for me, it's a historic, and we'll get
Oh,
into
yeah,
my
definitely.
5. It's a historic kind of, Drake is the top of the top right now. He's
Yeah.
right. So when you go after the top guy and you have information that nobody else or
No one knew he had
that's a historical moment in hip hop,
Yeah.
right? So I had
Yeah.
to put that in there. So,
Yeah, it was good. That's a good one. And now he brings his son out. Before that, we did not know. Now all of a sudden his son's all over the place. So yeah, that's definitely one. I like, and I think we talked about this, but Cannabis second round knockout.
Yeah, it's a good,
That was pretty good, man.
Solid,
And
very solid.
It's solid. Obviously he was targeting LL Cool J. Funny enough, Wyclef Jean produced the album.
The Cannabis album, right?
Yeah, because Cannabis kind of went on that whole Fuji thing. I think he didn't like Wyclef either. So after all that, but the history was LL Cool J invited everyone to come to this track 4, 3, 2, 1. he heard Cannabis first. He felt some feelings. Talking about, Al, is that the mic in your arm? Let me borrow that, referencing the mic that Al tattoo he had on his arm.
Yeah.
He told Cannabis, take it away. He's like, change your verse. Cannabis changed his verse. Al did not change his verse, responding to what he heard. So Cannabis got pissed off and dropped that. And I think it was a damn good diss track. I always, every once in a while, check it out.
It's good.
He comes back. He comes back with something, but I liked Second Round Knockout more than that. What other there's one I don't know if you guys follow too much of Beanie Siegel, because right now he has some issue with his voice. He's trying to, I think he had some kind of medical issues. Him and Jadakiss was going back and forth for a minute. Basically the camps, Jay-Z,
state property, and
they're going back and forth a little bit during that time. So I think BC was inheriting beef because they were taking shots at Jay-Z. But there was a song that he rapped over one of Jadakiss' beats, and he was ripping them apart. I forgot the name.
Siegel's a dog, man.
And that's Jadakiss. Jadakiss was not. They both were going back and forth. Like some people think one or other. I think Beanie Siegel definitely won that in exchange. I forgot the name of it because I don't know if it's I don't know if it's on Spotify or
I can't remember that one. Yeah, I can't.
But it's a really good one. And also, quite a lot talked about this. DJ Quick, dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Targeting MC8, and I love some MC8. Big fan of just the way his style. And DJ Quick is underrated, not appreciated as much as a lot of us should have it in terms of them going back and forth. I don't know why they got mad at each other. I don't know.
I think sometimes what's good about a beef or whatever is it's because there's competition, right? You're always looking at, okay, yeah, I was a guy for a year or two in hip hop and on the West Coast or the East Coast, whatever, and now this new guy comes along and he's whatever, and you feel some type of way, so you feel like you got to go at him, and and it's good. I think a lot of these guys, they wind up meeting in real life, and it's not, the beef ain't for real.
Right.
We'll get into obviously some historic things that have happened where the beef has lingered and people's lost lives, and we all know about that. But I feel like when you have, like, especially a Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss, like these guys, like there's a level of respect there, even when they're going at each other, because they realize both these guys, they're street guys, they know that they're both talented, they respect each other, but that doesn't mean you can't go at each other, right? So for me, there's levels to like the kind of beefs that there are. When they're personal, like a Lauryn Hill or Wyclef or a Jay-Z and Nas, and they talk about the personal stuff, that's different. But sometimes it's just like, hey, I don't like you because you're hot right now, and I used to be the guy, so I'm going to come at you, right? Yeah. And I'm going to find what I can to rap about you, and then you'll say something, and it's good for their brands as well because you want to have relevancy, right? So I think there's, some of the beefs can be fabricated for that reason as well. So I don't know. It's interesting. The beefs in hip hop is always a weird thing because you don't really see them in other music genres as much as you do hip hop,
Yeah. And there's one more. It's more of a jokey one, but I liked it. I mean, this is the first time I ever heard this artist when he dropped it way back in the day. 50 Cent made a song called How to Rob.
How to Rob. That's before he was 50 Cent, like before he really blew up.
Before he blew up.
Everybody up.
And he just made, you can tell, even when I was young, I realized, he's just effing with people. Mm-hmm. But he talked about every hot rapper and artist at the time. He made fun of everybody, top, up and down, from Jay-Z, whatever. I know he's talking about Big Pun.
Big Pun.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it and run. He ain't gonna catch me. 300 pounds. He's not gonna catch me.
It was
like
good. It
was good. I mean, he definitely got shot after that record.
He did. But
who knows if that was the reason? But
50 Cent's got multiple diss tracks. He's had other ones with against Ja Rule, and then he had some against The Game, and various people. So
and when he did it, he wanted attention, because I saw some of the interviews. He did it to get someone to respond. So the
50
fact
Cent's
that
smart. I think 50 Cent's always,
he's a genius,
always been kind of like very business savvy
definitely.
and very thinking, he's been playing chess, not checkers. He's always thinking steps ahead,
Absolutely.
and that's
Yeah.
why he's built what he's built. So I got to give
Yeah.
a lot of respect to him for that.
Yeah. He knew, I think Jay-Z finally dropped like a bar at him and he was like, "Oh, I made it." I think he said, "I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 cents?" And 50 Cent was like, "Oh, good," because
That's good.
bring
That's what he wanted.
exposure.
That's
Yeah,
what he
because that's
wanted. Jay-Z's
exactly
at
what
that
he
point
wanted.
was the hottest guy. So
Yeah. So so a little love for that. But if you wanna jump in with your top 5.
Yeah, let me
tracks?
get in. Let me get in my top 5. I'm gonna put them. Let me look at I got my notes list here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm gonna start with 5 and go up to 1.
Yes.
Okay. For me, man, it's hard to put them in. A lot of people. I have to put them in the relevancy of also me. Like when I was listening to hip hop and how significant I thought it was. Right. So it doesn't mean, if you look at somebody else's list, these lists are always personal to me. Okay. And it is what it is. So I got No Vaseline, which a lot of people have at number 1 as my 5. Okay. Only because I wasn't listening to hip hop when that came out in the way that I listened to hip hop when these other 4 were, when those beefs were around. So No Vaseline, Ice Cube going at NWA, basically going at Dre, going at Easy. Ice Cube was the lyricist and the really the talent of that NWA group, right?
Absolutely.
Dre was a producer, business guy. Eazy-E was a street guy and kind of brought them together. And Eazy-E has obviously had some great diss tracks as well and did things with Bone Thugs and Harmony, but No Vaseline has to be in the top 5. I can't. The historical relevance of it and the timing of it has to be in there. That's my 5 right there.
No, it's all
It's a
mine. It's all
fantastic
mine
song,
too.
too.
And
Yeah.
he's destroying the group, and there's some anti-Semitism in there too.
There is, and that goes to what you were talking about earlier. That a lot of these songs and stuff, and especially with hip hop, you can't make this music now. You're going to get canceled or whatever, or something going to hit the airwaves. But I appreciate these rappers, and they were able to just there's a little more freedom, right? Back in the day, we just don't have that now. But it is what it is. But he's doing that because of, I believe, and I'm not there, but what you see and hear, and even watching the Straight Outta Compton movie and reading some things, it's because he experienced some things that he thought weren't right. So he's just
that's the thing. It's a lot of that going back and
history,
forth
between
Dre, Dr. Dre, and Eazy-E.
Yeah,
that there was something going on. And
yeah.
they like to throw that out. Like who was getting it from who?
Yeah.
And I think it was just me. Probably, I think it happens to a lot of groups, organizations. You got super talented people with a lot of egos, telling people, like talking in the ear, saying what you deserve. This other person is messing with you, and also with the dude that Ice Cube was going after. The guy was doing some shady stuff. So it's not like, there was some issues with Jerry Heller and what he was doing.
Absolutely.
And he seemed like he was trying to pull away Eazy-E and trying to make money. And yeah, I could see why there was some issues with that. So but yeah, No Vaseline, definitely a classic. It's definitely in my I'm gonna put in my 5 right here. I had in my 5, but since we both talking about it, we can move on to 4.
Okay. Who you got it for?
Okay. This one is going to be a little older, but I'm a big fan of KRS-One, obviously. And it's a little more of it's a little way back, but The Bridge Is Over. This is 1987.
Classic, man. That beat, bro. Like
yeah. Wow. KRS-One is one of my favorite MCs, definitely.
Yeah.
What he said, Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it, Bronx keep on creating it, and Queens keep on faking it.
Dude, that's one of the best.
Listen, I'm anti-Queens. I can't stand Queens. It's terrible. Traffic is god awful. The streets are not big enough. You can't take it. Yeah, you have to take a bus. It's terrible. So I'm always anti-Queens, even though they make good food. So I do appreciate a good distracted Queens, but they were targeting MC Shan, Marley Marl, that whole, even Roxanne. They were targeting a whole group. And also
the whole area,
the whole
basically.
area.
The
I
whole,
mean, the
the
idea
whole,
the
yeah,
bridge is over. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there was some little fights here and there back in the day when even someone said that on the street.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm sure there's been a few people that have lost lives. I'm sure just from saying that in the club or on the streets. Like,
yeah.
absolutely, man. Amazing.
So it's more of my like historic. I mean, I was 3 years old when this record came. It's like more of listening to it
Yeah, later on.
afterwards.
Yeah, no, for sure. For
Criminal
sure.
Minded was a really good album that I definitely enjoyed. But yeah, that was definitely something
That's yeah. I don't have that on my list. It's definitely has a lot of historical reference. And KRS-One is that guy, man.
Oh yeah,
You know, they
yeah,
don't make him. KRS-One is one of one.
yeah,
He's one of one. When you talk about his delivery, his voice, his lyrical, I mean, everything about KRS-One, man. He's ahead of his time for sure.
yeah.
If you don't have him in your top, if he's on probably a lot of people's top 5, definitely top 10 list as far as
Yeah.
MC goes. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, as an MC, like, as a
mean,
songwriter,
no
to like
doubt about
make
it.
the radio shit that people like,
No, that's different. But
it's
yeah,
different. But if you really truly appreciate hip hop, you have to give him his flowers.
absolutely. So okay, this one I have like 2 songs because for me, once again, my lists are always personal. It's about like the relevancy of me listening to it and remembering, and then going to the Source magazine or the Vibe and like getting the 411, and like, oh, what's really going on? I was that kid in high school. Like, I had the Source and Vibe. I had subscriptions to that shit. Like, I was in that. I loved it. Right. So Biggie. All right. So for me, when I hear the song "Who Shot Ya," or when I hear the song "Kick in the Door," like that, to me, Biggie, and the way that Biggie handled beef was very different. At that point, obviously, he's talking about Tupac, right?
Right.
And Tupac's talking about him. We'll get to that in a moment. But the way Biggie handled it was so smooth. Like for me, I remember as a kid, Tupac was always more like in your face, loud, aggressive, like, and I can appreciate that. And Biggie was like the guy that was going to get you and kill you with a silencer. Like, and Tupac's going to come in with an AK and he's going to blast you. But Biggie was like a little more like chill, very measured, very calm. The video for "Who Shot Ya" is one of the best hip hop videos in my opinion. I just remember watching that and thinking like, damn, this is like a movie, right? And "Kick in the Door" was more like, I put both of those on the list for my 4 because "Kick in the Door" is more industry. He's kind of telling everybody, I am here. I am the king of New York, right? He's talking about Nas a little bit in there. He's referencing basically, I am the guy. Everybody else is not on my level, right? So I have to throw Biggie in there for those 2 songs. But I love "Who Shot Ya." For me, it's an excellent response to Tupac and the song I'll talk about next. So
yeah, it's I mean, and this is where it gets really crazy. And nowadays, all these drill rappers, all they do is talk about people that died. So I think we've, at least for me, I'm desensitized to it because now that it's just a common thing now. It's not as powerful as you're mocking talking about who shot. I mean, Tupac was shot, I think 5 times.
I feel
It
like
was
that's
something outrageous.
Yeah.
I remember the scene of him rolling out of the hospital somewhere in a wheelchair, looking all effed up.
And he's coming from a recording studio that Biggie was at, like, right? But Biggie,
it was
Biggie
a
said,
set.
I didn't have nothing to do with it. It was, but he felt like Biggie was involved because he was there. Yeah.
Which they listen. You can put some coincidences together, and then on Biggie takes it and then runs with it. Definitely a powerful track, man.
Yeah.
So what I'm at 3?
Yes, I think you're
okay.
right.
We don't have enough numbers for this because I feel like I'm not giving it. All right, so I went 3. I went with "Takeover" with Jay-Z. Okay. This one, I really, really thought when "Takeover" dropped that Nas was no longer going to rap anymore. I was like, what is he going to do with his life? I remember on the internet, everyone kept saying Nas lost, take the L, Nas. I remember all that when they debuted "Takeover" in New York City.
Yep.
It was like, damn, yo, Nas this is it, man. He's out. He's out.
Jay was already hot at that point.
He was already on top.
Still on it, yes. And going high. Yeah. Yeah.
The Blueprint is probably one of the best Jay-Z albums. So he anything Jay-Z touched at that time, obviously,
Everything was good. Everything was
Notorious wasn't around. He was the king in New York.
Yeah.
And he went after Nas, and also he went after Prodigy too. And it was pretty devastating. Because and also it was kind of smart because it was already a rivalry going. And obviously when he called out Nas, I remember it was Summer Jam, asked Nas, he didn't want it with Hov. It's just those, and then I think Nas took the bait. And then he dropped Takeover, and it was a devastating. It was the beat was kind of cool. The sampling, I don't know, it's kind of rock something. I don't know who did. I forgot who.
I don't know if it's not Rick Rubin that did that. You think?
I don't even know, but it had that rock flavor to it. But I think that's what you're saying. Like he was able to basically dominate.
Yeah.
And so some people didn't think Nas was going to recover, and in fact also Jay-Z kind of said, "We know who did what to who."
He ended the song in that way, which was a crazy way to end the song.
Yeah,
I mean, he's talking about. I mean, that's just like, damn, that's super personal, and that's how he ends it. I mean, it's like, damn, that's.
So I definitely that I could still listen to that right now.
Oh yeah, man!
That guitar rip, like
yep.
It was pretty significant.
Absolutely. I think when that song came out, that's when we were at an age where like hip hop was like big, right? Yes. Like to me, that's like the golden kind of time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, man. So for my 3, I have Hit 'Em Up, Tupac.
Okay.
Tupac to me, I'm more of a Biggie fan than Tupac. If I have to choose, I like Biggie, but as I've become older, I've been appreciating Tupac more. Right. As I've learned more, and I feel like he stood for something a little greater, right? In some regards. And I feel like a lot of things have happened to him and he was just angry. And he used music as his canvas to express that emotion, right? And Tupac was a talented guy, acting and dancing. He was a talented dude, but I think things happened to him that formed him into the artist that he was. Because when Tupac came out, he wasn't making that angry music. His first
he was like a regular hip hopper.
Brenda's Got a Baby, Dear Mama, like very, like inspirational, kind of like uplifting shit, more than like the raw Hit 'Em Up, the Machiavelli, like all the stuff that just came out afterwards, after he did time and after he was shot. But for me, Hit 'Em Up is a significant hip hop album. I mean, an angry Tupac is, and it's weird to say this, the best Tupac, because he's got great songs that are, emotionally great, right? Like some of the ones I just mentioned. But Hit 'Em Up is number 3 for me. I'll get into my 2 only because you just mentioned it. I have Takeover as 2. The reason I have it as 2 is it started, we had a lot of the LL Cool J, the Karis One, the NWA, the Ice Cube. Diss tracks and diss music was really popular, 80s, early 90s. And then it kind of went away. Jay-Z started it back with the Takeover. That was a big song when it came out. Nas was always the guy that was like, okay, yeah, he's super talented, not a lot of radio airplay. He's not making, he's not fancy, he's not flashy.
Right.
And then Jay-Z comes in, his albums are just hitting the radio.
He was not missing, and at that point he was not missing.
Yeah. King of NY, and then he comes out with Takeover. It's like, what the fuck, Nas, what? And so, it's like, what's happening here? He's talking about baby seats. He's talking about, who did with who or what. And it's like, this is Jay-Z. We haven't heard of Jay-Z like this, right? So I had that at 2. I got Hit 'Em Up at 3, Takeover at 2. I think the relevancy of that, because of what it sparked. I think Jay-Z started a little something, and that'll segue into what my number 1 is and what maybe even your number 1 is. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I got mine flipped. Okay. But yeah, Kanye, I just looked up. Kanye did make the Takeover beat. Kanye did everything.
Kanye's listen, bro. We
look at that. I mean, you hear that song and he put that together. Apparently, it was has samples from 5 to 1 by The Doors.
Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison. You don't know Jim Morrison, bro? Jim Morrison.
I don't. Yeah. I've heard of them, but I know. Maybe I should check them out.
The Doors are legit, bro. You like it.
Yeah, and obviously, it's a brilliant track. Okay, so yeah, mine's flipped. So I guess I'll just go to the first two because we already talked about it. But we can really talk about Ether because Ether is my number two, and I have
Mhm.
Tupac hit him up as number one.
Interesting. Okay.
Um,
I like how our list are our top
yeah,
three is more
a
the
little
same.
different. Yeah.
A little different, but the same
Okay.
song.
So I could have. They can go one or two. It's not that big a difference because
Yeah.
at least if in Nas, at least in my circles, when you say someone got ether, like we still use that
Yeah, we do.
as right.
It
It's
stands the test of time,
because
man. Yeah.
of the greatest comeback ever seen in life, for at least hip hop. That
Yeah.
Nas came back with Stillmatic, not only
Yep.
having a great album
Yep.
because the whole album was great.
Hmm.
He was able. Everyone, someone said a sleeping giant was awoken with Nas. He's like, all right, I'm gonna put everything on this, and he
And he
went
hasn't
in,
stopped. He hasn't stopped
and he
since.
hasn't stopped. Yeah. I mean, and Hope still comes in. Yeah, every once in a while he'll drop like
Yeah,
a
but
really
Nas
great
has
voice, but
been
Nas
since
is
that point.
putting.
Nas has done better, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I would agree with that definitely.
Yeah.
I think Jay-Z went more business. I think Nas stayed
Mhm.
with his music and still doing great with business.
Yes.
But he hit him everything. Called him ugly. Said you just all you do is just steal Big's lyrics.
Compared to Beans, you're whack,
Yeah,
and you
competing to
ran
be.
stamp on to make you take the blame. I mean, listen, bro. I mean, I don't even get me started.
Yeah, man.
I'm a Nas fanboy. You know it. I don't care. It's
He
all good.
said, Eminem murdered you on your own
Um,
shit. And there's a lot of other, again,
yes. Yes.
the man has always been tested and pushed
Hmm.
there. But yeah, that was a comeback, and yeah, that definitely could be number one. I think with Tupac is just the anger and
Yeah.
passion and aggressiveness.
Good point.
I don't think anyone died or got killed between Nas and Jay-Z. Maybe I don't think so,
Who knows?
but
Yeah.
someone tried to kill this man, shoot
Yeah.
him 5 times,
Yeah.
and he took 5 and got up and smiled. Like that's the shit that he was saying. Like, man,
Yeah.
and
You're
then in
right.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
ending,
Yeah.
he's yelling and screaming.
Yeah. Tupac, man, you're right, man. And I think, that's a good one. I'll go to my one. Ether's one for me for the reasons you mentioned and others. For me, Jay-Z, and we have to give credit where credit's due, and that's why I have Jay-Z as 2 versus some
Yeah,
of the other songs. Is he kind of sparked that? I think with competition, right? And whether it's with basketball or business or rap, you want somebody to bring the best out of you. Jay-Z
right.
brought the best out of
Oh yeah,
out
definitely.
of Nas, and Nas
Yeah,
already had classics, but he continued that, and I feel like Jay-Z sparked that. But Ether to me, bro, the way the song starts,
yeah.
but I mean, just it gets you hyped, man. I listened to it today like 5 times. I'm like, damn, and I've listened to that song a lot, right? But it's a man speaking with so much confidence because
Yeah,
he
he wasn't.
understands.
He wasn't. I overly like. Big difference between Tupac was a lot of yelling, emotion. No,
Yes,
Nas was rapping.
yes,
He's like,
yes.
like his typical style. He didn't jump out of himself into a different persona to rap. He just, all right, this is what you're saying. Okay, I'm gonna throw everything that you throw at me, but I'm gonna throw it back at you. Like you getting girls because of your looks?
Yeah.
like,
Well,
come
and
on.
then we talked about Queens, but his last line is Queens
Yeah,
runs it, right? And it's he's still
yeah.
repping the
Ask
borough,
Russell
like,
Simmons.
yeah. I mean, it's like I mean that song to me, bro. Like I can never not listen to it and just be like, I love this shit. Like it's good. It's good. He comes in aggressive in the beginning, and then he drops a couple lines at the end. It's just like, damn, right?
You
So for
forgot.
me, the Ether Man, the album cover, he's got the pigeon, he's got the chains, he's sitting there like, I mean,
He's still mad.
Nas is my goat. It's
Yeah,
not in for me, and I've said this, it's not even close.
yeah,
The longevity of his career, and I feel like that battle between him and Jay-Z, he came out a notch ahead. And at that point, Nas wasn't, Jay-Z was the guy. Jay-Z was on top when that was
definitely.
going on. And
Yeah,
Nas said, okay, you know what? Let me step in and let me do my thing. And I'm going to
yeah.
do it the way I know it. And I'm going to make good albums. And he hasn't looked back. And Jay-Z is still doing great stuff. So to say that even means how great Nas is. So for me,
Yeah.
that historical reference, the time in my life, listening to Take Over, and like, I was like, damn, I'm a fan of both of these guys. And then Nas dropped Stillmatic. And that just, you know, it cemented his place in hip hop for me. So,
but going back to what you're saying, that you sometimes you need something to put a fire in you, because I was also thinking like, okay, what Nas released before Stillmatic, and it was Nostradamus in 1999, and that was not people. You know, it was a mixed reviews. I remember
people didn't
listening
love
to
it. People
some.
didn't love it.
I wasn't a big fan. I mean, they had some radio hits, but the Nostradamus song was the beat was kind of like it just wasn't.
Yeah,
It was. You can tell. I think Jay-Z didn't think Nas had it in him. He's like, I'm gonna hit him while he's down. This album wasn't great. Some you say it was whack compared to other stuff he had. He ain't got it anymore. And
Jay-Z's going after Nas because he respects him. He's like, this guy's a lyrical genius. He's got, still he's got Illmatic. Like, he's trying to like basically just take over the guy that did it before him, and it backfired. Right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because Jay-Z did release something after that called Super Ugly. I don't know if anyone remember that.
I remember that.
It was very he had nothing. Because
it wasn't like Takeover.
No, I remember it was released on the radio. We listened to it and like, yeah, Nas won that one.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. Is there any other diss tracks you could think of that we haven't talked about?
I want to talk about my whack ones real quick.
Okay.
50 Cent has a few that are good, we haven't talked about, obviously, but Eminem has some, MGK, like we all know about that that stuff. But
yeah,
I listened to one today, and I remember listening to it back in the day because I was a fan of this guy, and I bought a few of his albums. Ja Rule. Okay.
I'm a Ja Rule fan.
I know you are. I'm sorry.
His first two albums,
he was hot.
Everything.
He was hot, bro.
He was copying Tupac's look,
and he was understand it. He was the pop version of Tupac.
Yeah, but he was untouchable for that 2 albums stretch.
He was hot. He was hot for like 3, 4, 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Clapback. He's got a song called Clapback. That
I like that beat.
The beat's fire. The words and everything trash.
Yeah.
Trash. I don't like it. Yeah. And then my man Jermaine Dupri had a song called JD's Reply.
Come on. Okay?
Whack, man. One of the worst diss tracks.
JD is one of the greatest
producers. We're talking about rap. And he came into that arena and got murdered.
Who wrote that for the man?
That's not my problem. I have no idea who wrote it, but it's whack.
I would assume it was whack because because he didn't write it. I don't think he writes.
No.
I don't know if J. Cole had like diss tracks, but he always had he's like lecturing you kind of thing.
He's letting you know he's letting you know his spot in the game.
Yeah.
And he's taking shots kind of like the industry overall.
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he made a song. I forgot the one where he basically is like, all these little rappers, all these little whatever, little Zans, you're not gonna be here. And he predicted it to the T. Absolutely. So I like a lot of his kind of like, I understand what you're going through, but at the same time, you ain't on this level. So I appreciate that one. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. All right. Going back to we didn't get a chance to really go, and I guess we're running out a little bit over time, but the Eminem versus MGK.
Yeah.
Rap Devil versus Killshot. I forgot what was your opinion. Did you like Rap Devil more? Because everyone, I didn't realize most people that, at least in our chat, believe that Rap Devil was better than Killshot. And I thought the other way around.
For me, that's a hard one for me to, because when that happened, I wasn't listening to those guys a lot. I remember it, right? But I wasn't like a big MGK, so I just wasn't. It wasn't like the Nas and Tupac for me, right?
Yeah.
For me, I like Eminem's Rap God better than I do, because he's kind of talking to like a lot of people, right?
Right.
And that's like a 20-minute song, right? But I like that better. But I don't know, man. For me, it's a toss up between those two. I think both of the songs are good and they make valid points. Whatever, If anything, I probably have to lean a little towards MGK only because he's the underdog. So when it's close, I'm gonna lean towards the underdog. If I'm being honest. So.
Yeah, I think that, and there's a weird thing, and we would need to talk about this maybe another episode. People don't like. There's a lot of people in the hip hop community that have a big problem with Eminem, they always find ways to kind of throw him under the like he's not
Discredit
that
him a little
great,
bit.
discredit him, and
Yeah.
I just don't, and I don't understand it because they don't really go after other white rappers like this. So it's like, is it because
Yeah.
he's so good that we gotta find ways to, like you said, discredit him and think he's kind of
Yeah.
whack? But I can see, yeah, MGK holding his own. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy can rhyme,
He can.
and you know, it, he didn't even started. Eminem was weird because MGK made I guess a tweet or something years ago about his daughter. Like,
Yeah.
why you didn't do it? You wait this long? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little off. But I could see people saying, Rap Devil. You all notice that MGK did beat Jack Harlow's punk ass.
Oh,
Which is embarrassing.
you know what? At this point, I don't know. I think I couldn't beat Jack Harlow by myself, but two old guys like you and I, if we combine forces, we could fucking beat Jack Harlow. So, and I say that with a lot of confidence. You give me a week to look into Jack Harlow and think about it, I could take Jack Harlow down. I think he's soft like Twinkie feeling, bro.
Probably.
Soft like Twinkie.
He's a good guy. He's a cougar, but yeah, it is what it is.
Soft.
I'm trying to think of Eminem like diss tracks. Another thing too about Eminem, he always went after people that he knew he could beat up on. So like, remember the Source magazine, him with Benzino, going after Ja Rule. When at this point Ja Rule wasn't much of anything. I mean, even like 50 Cent's Back Down, right? He's going after whole Murder Inc. There's not even a competition anymore. No one's checking out. I don't even who's on Murder Inc. at that time.
Well, that's why the beefs of Biggie and Tupac and NWA and Ice Cube and Jay-Z and Nas are great because these guys there were titans in that time.
Yes.
They were, you know what I'm saying? You're going after A and A1, like you're going at mano y mano. You're not going down. And to your point, Eminem kind of stepped down when he's going to MGK, right?
He did.
That's you see. So when you have to step down, it's kind of a weak move a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you gotta squash him.
Yeah.
You can't. There is no room.
You have to completely kill it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's two songs I want to talk about before we end it. Is at least to me one of the funnier videos. Dr. Dre with Snoop Dogg, fucking with Dre Day. I still remember that video and how they made fun of Eazy-E.
Mm-hmm. It's good, man.
But then Eazy came back with real motherfucking G's, and that was he held his own too. But it was I don't think it was like a lyrical. Both of them weren't like lyrically killing each other. But I do remember the video. I forgot it was one of the comedians that played Eazy-E and how he was like broke. The character was called Sleazy E. It was kind of funny. Eazy probably did not appreciate that. Rest in peace to him. But
rest in peace. Rest in peace.
I like the beat too. Obviously, with anything with Dr. Dre.
And rest in peace to Pac and Biggie, because I'll tell you what, who knows what all happened there, but the things that they had going against each other and that were public did not help those guys, clearly, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's wild.
Yeah. And one more real quick. I don't know if you're a big Gucci Mane fan. I know you don't listen to a lot of Gucci
Mane went at Jeezy, right?
Yeah. I'm bringing this up because during the verses, the guy Gucci actually rapped a song in front of him.
Yeah.
And people thought that was way off. Basically, if you check it out, they both there's like legit murder and stuff happening. I mean, at one point, I think actually a rapper did die. Gucci evaded murder charges, so like he claimed self-defense. So this is like serious. People are out here killing each other.
It's crazy.
But in the rap, he tells Jeezy, go dig your partner up. I bet you he can't say shit. I'm like, damn, dog. Like this is just ridiculous. This is 2012.
That's heavy.
Yeah. Gucci Mane's crazy. Yeah, he's on a different level. He's nice now and shit. Like everyone is. But
yeah, he's got like a 6-pack now. He's all fit.
Yeah, he's healthy.
He's like it's weird.
Him and Jeezy are cool.
Jeezy's
now,
the same way. Jeezy's married to that like Asian chick, and like he's like It's
what you supposed to do, right? You're not supposed to stay aggressive. You're supposed to get older, invest, get your stuff together. But yeah, the truth. Listen to that. That's pretty aggressive. And the fact during the verses he actually raps this song. But mind you, they all had like armed security around them. Like, shit was gonna go down. But but yeah, man, I didn't realize there's so many diss songs we didn't even get a chance to even go through. But
and you know what? We don't, we obviously that happens still currently, but it's not the same. No. Because now I think when you make a diss track, you have to almost be careful. back in the day.